October look of the month, inspired by Young Nails mentor, Don Arnaud. Greg is gonna do this set. It is spectacular right now.
I'm going to be designing the look of the month based on a fall inspiration by Don Nails. I'm going to be showing you how you could use core white to establish the perfect background to this marbled look. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin by pushing Tracy's cuticles back. We're going to set ourselves up for a great preparation before we actually lay down the acrylic on her natural nails. Tracy has a little bit of remnants left over from the last set. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our arbor band and just gently come around the perimeter of the nail and lightly feather away the shine from corner to corner. I'm going to repeat the step on all 5 fingers. Once we remove shine from the natural nail, I'm going to use swipe to cleanse away all the oils, contaminants, and dust from the surface of the natural nail. We're now going to use protein bond and apply 2 coats to the surface. I'm going to be using core white to create the structure of the nail. All right, so what I'm going to do is take my nail form. I'm going to pre-pinch the tip. What we're going to do is get this tight to Tracy's natural nails. Tracy has just a little bit of length at her free edge, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rock that on, and then once I actually have the form on her natural nail, one of the things I like to do is I'll turn her hand right behind, look at client profile so that I can see if the form is actually on straight. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually extend her free edge, pick up a nice pearl, I'm going to tap off the excess liquid. Right, and that way when I actually set it to the form, it's not going to get away from me. What we're going to do is we're going to sculpt out a beautiful coffin shape. Once I actually extend her free edge out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay a pearl down at her cuticle area, and we're going to build her upper arch. Going to get a really nice size pearl. I'm going to give it a couple of seconds. We're going to set this right to her cuticle area. I'm going to use the tip of the brush, walk around the perimeter of the nail, around the whole entire perimeter. As everything starts to run down, I'm really going to focus on feathering it nice and tight around her edges and working that excess all the way through the body without losing shape at her upper arch. Just need to fill in a little bit of excess at the tip. I'm going to get a nice bead and give it a couple seconds. I like to lay my brush in backwards, right where it joins, feather it back. Whatever excess is left at the tip, I'm going to be using the body of my brush to be working over the free edge. And this is going to fill in any loose space. We're just going to let this sit and dry, and then we're going to file this into perfection. Okay, the nail has dried. What I'm going to do before we file this into shape is I'm going to take an old file and take the edges down of my new file so that I don't cut her. All right, that's really important. What we want to be able to do is keep the hand file straight on both sides. It's going to keep our edges dead straight. Right. And once our edges are completely straight from the back end to the front, just going to make the front end very square. I'm going to turn her hand to the side. And what we're going to do is we're going to use our hand file, the lowest point, and file up to make that lower arch razor sharp. I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side, right at the lowest point, filing up to make sure that we have really, really tight lower arches. Okay, once the perimeter has been established, what we're going to do is we're going to use our safety bit. Start from the cuticle area. I'm going to work all the way through the upper arch. I'm going to look down the barrel of the nail. I'm going to make sure that we're filing in one direction towards myself. This is going to make sure the free edge is the same thickness from side to side. And then I'm going to work around the cuticle area, just being very, very gentle. I don't want to take off too much product. All right, just basically taking down whatever bulk there is. Then I'm going to work through the body to even everything out. Once everything is even, I'm going to be using my hand file around the perimeter of the nail to make everything smooth and set us up for our marbled effect. Okay, now what I'm going to do is we're going to create the marbled effect. I'm going to be using Overdrive. I'm going to be using the Young Nails striper brush. And what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to load up my brush. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint in a few different lines. What we're going to do is just start from here and then just kind of work, right, thick, and then maybe just a little bit thinner. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then what I'm going to do is load up my brush and do the same thing. Just kind of work in some just random lines, right? Putting pressure, lifting my brush. Right? It doesn't have to, again, be perfect. You can see all I'm doing, again, is loading up my brush at the tip and then just, again, joining it and then just, you know, again, working right as far as I can before the paint runs out, and then I'll touch my brush again, load it up, and then just kind of follow through. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to load the brush up and then again join it at one point and then just use the very, very tip as far as I can, load it back up, start from here, and then just putting in random lines all the way down and through. So after we get our lines in, I need to get the lines to bleed. I'm going to be using Swipe just to dash around the edges of the lines to get the paint to move. All right, what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of Swipe inside a ceramic dish. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a gel brush, just going to load it up, and then just right along the edges, I'm just gonna kind of work it in. All right, just dash along the edges, and what will end up happening is the swipe will kind of bleed and spread. All right, it'll leave it thick in some areas and thin in others. All right, which is going to give it that really nice marbled effect. Just like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put that in the light to get it to set. All right, now what I'm going to do is take a little bit of the gold foil. I don't need a lot, just really small pieces. I'm going to break this up. Then what I'm going to do is just take some of the small pieces of foil and just place them along the edges, just like this. Right, it's so fine, it's really going to stick to the edges well. Once I have the foil pressed on, I'm going to be using stain-resistant top coat to seal in the design. We're gonna get that inside the light for a minimum of 1 minute. I'm gonna extend the rest of the set and I'm gonna show you one more technique that's really going to enhance this set. What I wanna be able to do is use my medium grit hand file, and I'm just lightly going to go around the surface and then just gently through the whole surface to create texture so that the top coat doesn't chip away. Once I have created the right texture, I'm going to use swipe to dust it off. I'm going to use protein bond around the edge and through the surface of the nail. And then we're going to use finish gel over the surface. Now we're going to take Cola Crush. What we're going to do is we're going to powder coat the whole entire surface. Give that a chance to absorb. We're going to tap off the excess, and we're going to get it inside the light for a minimum of 60 seconds. I'm now going to finish off the set by painting the rest of the nails with Manicure Red 103, and you'll see the set when it's done.
I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Also, if you didn't know, we're on so many other channels. Check us out on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Snapchat. The list goes on. Please, please, please check us out.